Good morning, friends, and welcome to Miss Debbie's STEM class. Before we get started, Miss Debbie just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that I don't have any rights to any of the books or songs that I sing or lessons that I teach. I'm just doing this all for fun, just to keep us learning about science. So, let's start off our lesson with our hello song. Hello, hello, can you clap your hands? Hello, hello, can you clap your hands? Can you reach up high? Can you touch your toes? Can you turn around? Can you say hello, 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 hello? Can you stomp your feet? Hello, hello, can you stomp your feet? Can you reach up high? Can you touch your toes? Can you turn around? Can you say hello? Hello, friends. Okay, friends, now that spring is here and the weather's starting to get warmer and there's flowers blooming and the grass is starting to get greener, we also hear a lot of birds singing. And that's my favorite thing about spring, to hear the birds singing. And my most favorite bird is the robin. Robins are everywhere, and they're such friendly birds that love to sing all day long. Robins are such hard-working birds. They're up very early in the morning, trying to find worms in the grass to feed themselves and their babies. And you can often find them flying in the air with a twig in their mouth or a piece of grass in their mouth. That means that you're trying to find supplies to build a home for themselves and to build a nest for their eggs that they're going to be laying. Before we get started on our lesson, I want to share this cute little short book from Scholastic Books about robins, and it's called From Egg to Robin by Susan Canizares and Betsy Chesson. This is a robin. The robin builds a nest. See the nest in the tree? Sometimes you can find their nests in bushes or under your rooftop. The robin lays eggs. These are robin's eggs. Most robin's eggs are a pretty light blue color. Some can be light green and speckled. Then the eggs hatch. See little babies? The robin feeds her babies. The robin's out there getting worms from the grass and then flies home to feed the babies. The babies get bigger. And now they are grown-up robins. And when you see robins outside, you'll notice that some robins have a darker brown belly. Those are the boy robins. And the robins that have more of an orange reddish belly, those are the girl robins. The end. Okay, so for our STEM lesson today, we're going to have lots of fun. Make sure it's nice enough outside because you're going to spread your wings like a bird and you're going to go outside and pretend you're flying around and look for things that you may want to use to build your own bird's nest. Now, Miss Debbie does not care what your bird's nest looks like in the end. I mean, I do care about your bird's nest, but it's not about what it looks like at the end. I want you to focus on the fact that you're a bird and focus on how hard it is for this little bitty bird with a little bitty beak to fly around and find things and hold them in their beak and fly them back to wherever they're building their nest all day long. I want you to focus more on that, more on the process of making the nest than what your nest is going to look like at the end. So before we get started, you might want to make a little picture of what you think your nest is going to look like. And that way you can get an idea in your head before you go out and carry a bag and gather supplies of what you think you might need. Some things that I've seen birds use for nests are dried up leaves, maybe dry grass, fresh grass, twigs, sticks. Sometimes they'll even use a string if they find a string out in your backyard, or a piece of material or clothing. They'll use anything that they can find to make sure that they have a nest that's strong enough to hold themselves and their babies and comfortable enough for their babies and their eggs to hatch. So let's get started. Went outside and I gathered some supplies to make my bird's nest. I found some bigger sticks, some tiny twigs you could break in half. I even found some Easter grass from our Easter baskets that we had at Easter time that had fallen outside on the ground, and some yarn, and also some pine needles, and some leaves, some dried up leaves, and some moss. I had a lot of moss around my yard. Now what I'm going to do before I build my nest is to make sure that I have a base that I can use to build my nest on. So I have a paper plate here that I'm going to be using. You could use a box, a paper plate, anything that you have in the house that can hold your nest. And I decided to use the bigger sticks on the bottom to make a stronger base to hold everything in. Now you can do whatever you would like. You can crisscross your sticks and you can tie them together with some of the yarn or some of the string that you may have, or you can simply crisscross them together and make a nest. And make sure that the nest is a little bit soft and cushiony inside to hold your eggs. Miss Debbie has some pretend eggs. I used cotton balls here to pretend they're eggs. And like I said, it doesn't matter what it looks like at the end. You're just trying to see what it's like to be a bird and build a nest and see how difficult it might be for those little itty bitty creatures to spend so much time flying around and only carrying a small piece of twig or a piece of string in their mouth and bringing it back to their nest. Now for the younger kids, it might be easier to use a bowl and pretty much put in whatever they found outside and put it into the bowl. Again, just the process of making a nest for the eggs. Miss Debbie had some leftover Easter eggs that were light blue, so I thought that that would be perfect to put in there. So, have fun making your nest and pretending that you're birds. And when you're all done, we're going to come back, and Miss Debbie has a fun craft for us to make. The craft that I chose to make today was a pair of binoculars so that we can do some bird watching. From inside the house, we can look out the windows, or we can go outside and look around for birds. Now, this was easy enough if you have a paper towel holder or some toilet paper rolls. You can cut the paper towel holder in half to match the size of 2 toilet paper rolls. If you don't have any of these lying around, you could simply take a piece of paper and roll it up. I think we did this before for our fire-breathing dragon. And roll up, just like so. And you can make 2 of them that you're going to tape together. Okay, so you want to have a little bit of space in between your paper rolls or your toilet paper rolls, and that's so that you can look through your binoculars with both of your eyes. So what Miss Debbie did was I simply just cut a piece of paper like so, and I folded it accordion style. That means back and forth like this. And I kept folding it back and forth. And then what I did is I took a piece of tape and I taped it onto the side of my roll. Now you're going to do that again and do another one right down here. And that's going to give you a little space in between your rolls. I just simply took a piece of tape and taped it across so that it would stay in place. Then once I did that, I taped the 2 rolls together using Scotch tape. You could use any kind of tape. If you have duct tape or colorful tape, you could put that around your rolls. I did it on the top and I did it on the bottom. Now, if you want to make it really fancy, you could decorate it with some paper. Maybe put some paper around the whole thing and glue it on or tape it on and use some stickers or leaves, anything fun like that. And then I simply took a pencil. You can get some help with from your parents here. I don't want anybody to get hurt. But I'm just going to make a little hole on the side of each of your tubes. And you're going to put a piece of string through there, and you can either tape it down or you can tie a knot like Miss Debbie did and make sure it stays in place. And if you don't have any string, you don't need string. You can hold on to it with your hands like this. It'd just be fun to be able to put it around your neck and go outside with your binoculars or look out your window to see how many birds you can find. Now, once you're done with your binoculars, what Miss Debbie wants you to do is we're going to tally how many birds we see throughout the day, throughout a couple days, a week, however long you want to do it. Now, tally means count. And what you're going to do is you can either on a piece of paper or Miss Debbie added on a printable that you can use to tally up how many birds you're going to see outside. I want you to focus on how many birds you see sitting in a tree, how many birds you see walking along the ground or the grass, how many birds you see flying, and how many birds you might see splashing in a puddle or a bird bath. So I hope you have a lot of fun bird watching, making your bird's nest, pretending you're a robin today. And maybe you could sing a little song outside too. So that's the end of our lesson. I hope you had fun. And let's end our lesson with our goodbye song. It's time to wave our hands and say goodbye, goodbye. It's time to wave our hands and say goodbye, goodbye. We've had lots of fun, my friends, and we'll do it all again. It's time to wave our hands and say goodbye, goodbye, friends. Stay happy and healthy, and I'll see you next week. Have a great day.